Hello Steelers, and welcome to this very quick video in which I'm going to show you some of the stuff for Achtung Panzer. I was very kindly sent this by Warlord just recently. It's only arrived pretty much last week, but I just thought I'd show you basically some of the cards and things. We can talk a little bit about the game. I haven't yet had a game. I'm going to be playing one tomorrow. A bit of a demonstration game using my 15mm stuff because I haven't actually painted the 28mm stuff that Warlord sent just the other week. I'm quick, but I'm not that quick. But what they have done is they've sent me a set of cards here. These are, I think, these are the events reinforced. Yeah, so the event cards. So I'll have a look through those in a second. I'm not going to go through every single one, but just give you a flavour of them. They've also sent through basically the stuff that you would normally get in any of the the starter packages. So this is the Allied British and American asset cards, Soviet asset cards, German asset cards, and then British asset cards. The other ones are American asset cards. So again, these are all kind of different and obviously geared into their particular formations. They sent me the tokens, which I've all bagged up here. I'm not going to go through those, no point. But they have also sent, as part of it as well, you get the turn tracker as well. And what they've very kindly sent me is, let's have a look. We've got the American card set, we've got the German card set, we've got the British card set, and I've also got a Soviet card set as well. So what I want to do is actually I want to just quickly go through some of these and show you the tanks that you will get included in any of these sets. These are all pretty much late war, so these are pretty much, I think, 43 onwards, 43, 44 onwards. As you would expect, I mean, with this kind of game where most people are probably going to be playing it late war anyway. I'm fairly sure, I don't know 100%, but I'm fairly sure that they probably will be bringing out some early war stuff. It is also included in the rules. I've got a copy of the rules. It's included in the rules. There's some bits and pieces in there all the way through the war, so you can play it. But the only sets that they've got at the moment are the later war ones. So what I want to do really was just kind of get these, just go through them, just show you each of the different sets. These are probably the most important bits. These are actual cards here for the tanks themselves. So we'll have a look at those, see kind of what you get. I mentioned as well we've got this turn tracker. Each game is basically down to minutes. You roll the dice to see how many minutes have passed. Each turn you have an action phase. There's 3 action phases per turn. So you start the turn and then, so you can basically do 3 things. In each of those action phases you can move and then do a tactical phase as well. So you kind of got 2 actions per phase, 3 phases per turn. That's kind of how the game works really in total. But there's a little bit more to explain, and that is kind of on these cards. I'll get the camera set up differently and we'll have a look. I've also got the ace skill cards as well in the cards with the again specific cards for those specific forces. So let's have a look at those. So first things first, let's have a look at the Germans. This is the stuff you get. I think this is basically what you get in the starter set when you buy the Germans. So we got the German ace skills here, which are specific to them. So they've got things like grease lining there. When a quick reaction event card is played, the aces tank. This is for obviously tank aces and things. 2 shots are resolved simultaneously. We've got intuition, we have combined arms, and we've also got killer instincts as well. I'm not going to do a huge detailed look at these things. This is just kind of give you an idea. But here we have the basic card as they look when you buy them. So we've got here the Panther Aus D, the medium tank. What you can see immediately is we have a point system over here. So if you've got a low, medium or high caliber crew, you choose your crew. It depends on the points. So a Panther, for example, is either 22 points for the low one, medium 25 points, high 28 points. You've also got tank ID as well, which is one of the tokens which you can just basically add in there if you really need to, so you can tell which tank is which on the battlefield, obviously. Each of these chaps also have a grade as well, which are chosen by various means within the rules, and these are indicated by using these tokens as well. So they, I think they go from something like 1 star through to 3 star here, and basically the number after it is what you need to roll over to do a crew test, basically during a game. So pretty simple stuff really. You also have down here this command. This is you basically put in your token for your command for the turn for that car, that tank, then flip it over once the initiative is shown, has been rolled for, and this basically you have the different maneuvers. So these are maneuvers, so that's halt, that is move forward. You have one of these sets for each of the tanks. Obviously turn left there, and there's also a turn right in here, but I just can't find it because they're all mixed up at the moment, but believe me, they're in there. So you have these different tokens, and as I say, you use these. You don't reveal them until the initiative has been rolled. So that's basically how that bit works. You also have as well down at the bottom here, you've got the ammunition rack. You have tokens for this. So everybody basically starts off with most tanks, at least in these starter sets, have HE and also AP. Some will have smoke as well in there. And also you may have this special ammunition as well, which you may only get a couple of shots with in a game. Depends how good your crew is, depends on the year, all these different factors basically. And you move these across into your load and then ready, and then you fire them. So it's a basic. Each one of these costs an action basically per turn, and as I say, you get 3 of these in a full turn. You can also see bits and pieces here. So we got just like how much strength each of these guns have got. So we got the L75, 75mm L70. This is for the Panther. 5 up to hit if it's short range, 5 up to hit if it's over short range, which is basically over 18 inch. And then the penetration factor. You roll the dice, add the penetration factor. It depends on what you're firing at. This is the armour up here. So if you're firing at the front turret of this, or if the front hull, it's either a 13 or a 12, and then the side is a 6, and then you've got running gear and also engine decks as well. And other various bits and pieces. You've got your speed, you've got your hull down factor, so if you're behind ambush terrain or you're in terrain or whatever, that comes into play. And then also targeting as well. The kind of stuff you would expect to see in a lot of these kind of tank games. Traits or anything extra that the tank has, and then it also just indicates where the actual tank commander sits on the tank. So if you don't really know where your tank's very well, it shows you. The other slightly interesting thing, I guess, is there is a second point system in this game. So you have the overall crew points if you want to use those and be a bit more granular. If you just want a quick knockabout game, you basically decide a class level for all the tanks. So for example, the Panther is a class 4, and I think a T-34, just off the top of my head, I think is a class 2. I'll probably be wrong, and you'll see that later on when I come across it. But basically, the class number is basically how many tanks you can take from that position. Then you just roll quickly for the caliber of the crew individually, or the grade, should I say. So it's quite a nice way of doing it. So if you want to just put a Panther against 2 T-34s, they've got a class of 2, brings them up to 4. If you want, you could have 4 T-34s against 2 Panthers, for example. So it's there's 2 ways of doing this really, of having a quick knockabout game or having a more in-depth points-based game. I'd probably go more with the class stuff, just because I'm not particularly interested in points and working things out. That's just me. So we've got a couple of different types of Panthers. So you got the Panzer D on there. This is the A on the other side. Slightly different bits and pieces here and there. Probably very little difference actually in the Panthers themselves. I think the armour is the armour is not even slightly different. They are pretty much exactly the same. Close assault on the Panther A is higher than it is on the Panther D. So slight differences here. So we also got a Stug 42, which is the short, big gun of the Stug version. On the other side of that, we've got the Stug Aus G, Stug 3, so it's classic Stug tank, late war tank. As I say, a lot of these are late war. Jagdpanther, tank destroyer. The Panzer Aus G, of course, 3 different types of Panther, D, A and G. This is the G version of this. Then we've got the Ferdinand here, the elephants, depending on which part of the year, the war it is you're fighting these. The early ones were the Ferdinands, the later ones were the elephants, I think. Someone in comments will probably tell them I'm wrong. We've also got the Nashorn here and the Hornis. What else we got? Jagdpanther 38T. We've a Hetzer, sorry, that was the Panzer IV Aus H, the medium tank, classic workhorse of the Wehrmacht. We've got another Hetzer here, another version of the Hetzer. We've also got the Panzer IV medium there. I think, oh, looks like I've got a couple of sets of these, so we've another H there. I think this is because when you buy them you get several models of the Panzer IV. There's at least 3 models in this, so this is why you're getting these different boxes here. You can see I've not really gone through these yet until now. So then we've also got the G. On the back of this one we got the F1, so these are the Panzer IVs, so lots of types of Panzers, so same again, and then the G and then the F1 there as well. Then we've got the Jagdpanzer, the Jagdpanzer IV. This is a tank destroyer, of course, and on the other side the Jagdpanzer IV 48 tank destroyer, a slightly bigger gun. Then of course we have the classic Tiger 1. This is the H version of this. Then on the other side we've got the Aus E version of the Tiger 1. Now we also have Aces as well. So this one is Otto Carius's Tiger 1. This is his heavy tank here, and then there's some information here on the back here about Otto Carius as well. Just a bit of historical information for you there. Then we've got Lieutenant Hans Strippel's Panzer IV, and once again that ace information on the back there. So that's the German cards. Let's have a look at some of the others. So this is a British set, so we've got their ace skills here, slightly different to the Germans. So you've got Treadhead, Lucky, Hawkeye, Silver Bullets, so slightly different depending on the nation that is being used. So we've got the Sherman 5 M4A4 medium tank, classic stuff. Sherman VC Firefly, so the British big old 17 pounder I think on the Firefly, if I remember. Yes, 17 pounder 76mm L60. We've got then the Dreadnought. This is Sergeant Wilfred Harris's Sherman VC Firefly. So there we go, there's an ace. There's another ace in there for you, again with the historical background, so you can play these particular people. And you'll notice as well on the aces that they've already got their command skills in there compared to the other ones where you basically put in the crew grade yourself, but these ones have already got their skills in there, so that's quite nice to see. Shufti's Hope, Sergeant Fred Kite's Sherman 5, and again there's information on old fella. Now we've got a Humber Mark II armoured car, and on the other side the Mark IV armoured car, the M10 Wolverine tank destroyer, the M10 Achilles tank destroyer, similar to the Wolverine but not the same, the A3 A34 Comet. And Cruz, as you say, a lot of these ones are pretty much later war stuff. Sherman 3 on the other side of that one, Daimler Mark 1, Cromwell 7, the Archer tank destroyer, the classic pointing backwards gun, the Churchill Mark 4 infantry tank, that's going to be a classic of course, Stuart 6, the light tank, and then a Stuart 6 again, M5 light tank, a slightly different one. With, you can see there it's got the cutter on this one for the Cullen cutter, isn't it, for getting through the bocage. The Churchill Mark 3, the Churchill Avra assault tank, so that's got the big old gun on it, HE level of 6 there compared to 1 for most of the others. Churchill Mark 3 infantry tank, Churchill Avra assault tank, is that the same one that we just had, I think? Yes it is. So again, this is probably just giving you an idea how many Churchills are actually in these sets. So yeah, there's another Churchill, so I think you get 3 with the British set. Churchill Mark 6 there, and the Churchill NA75. So some of these I've never even heard of that one, so there's quite a few in here that I don't know myself. The Churchill Mark 6, same again, NA75, and Churchill, and then that's it for the Brits. Then our third nation is the Americans, and these ones have got Shufti for these are the race skills. Shufti, Cool Customer, Pour It On Boys, and Shoot and Scoot. And then they obviously have M4 A376 Shermans medium tanks, and the 75 M4 A375 medium tank as well. They then have the GMC tank destroyer, which is the American version of the Wolverine, or the British version is the Wolverine, should I say. The GMC Jackson tank destroyer as well on the other side of that. So they've got the M26 Pershing heavy, the M4A3E2 jumbo assault tank as well, so all the big stuff. M24 Chaffee light tank, the M18 Hellcat tank destroyer, sorry that's the Wolverine one, isn't it? The M20 scout car, M8 Greyhound armoured car, M5A1 Stuart light tank, the M5 Stuart light tank. So if you really want to look at these in detail, just pause the video and you'll be able to see some of the details on this stuff. MT GMC tank destroyer, the Priest, M7 Priest, self-propelled gun, Hussar tank, Eagle 7, Staff Sergeant Robert Ely's M26 Pershing heavy tank. And again, there's some bit more information on that ace himself. And Captain Thomas J. Evans, the M18 Hellcat tank destroyer. Same again, more information on there. So you want those historical things. And then the M4 Sherman, 3 of these. So these are, you know, set up for the, as I say, for the box set itself. We flip these over, and these are the M4 3E8 Sherman Easy 8 medium tanks, so 3 of those as well. So, you know, all that stuff is covered. As I said, pretty much everything there is late war, at least. Okay, so the last set of data cards are the Soviets. So as I say, you know, the 3 main nations, as you would expect for a Second World War game, were all included here, and their ace skills are they have deception, well drilled, delaying tactics, and nerves of steel. So again, just to mention, you know, the ace cards just slightly change things up a little bit for everybody. So let's see. Well, of course we got T-34-76, classic tank it is, and I'm assuming there's going to be 3 of those. Yes, there is 3 of those because there's 3 in the set that they sent me. And they got the T-34-85 on the back as well, there you can see. So that's the obvious choice there for the Soviet tanker. We've got a KV-8S flamethrower tank. We've also got the M10 tank destroyer in Soviet service, obviously. We have the Churchill Mark III heavy tank, Soviet service. M4A2-75 MCHA medium tank, the Sherman. So another Lend-Lease vehicle there. KV-85 heavy. T-70 light tank on the other side, Churchill Mark IV heavy tank, and same again, the M4A2-76 MCHA. We have the Su-85 tank destroyer, Su-100 tank destroyer on the other side, the BA-6 armoured car, and OT-3485 flamethrower tank, ISU-122 assault gun, ISU-152 assault gun, the KV-1 M42 heavy, and the KV-2 assault tank as well. We've also got another heavy tank here, late war big hitter. This is the IS-2 M1944 heavy tank, and the Su-76 tank destroyer on the other side. So pretty much everything, you know, the Soviets fielded is covered there. We also have Guards Captain Alexandra Samyshenko's T-34-76. This is one of the female tank aces, so that's nice to see at least. A little bit of solidarity there with the women, so great for that, good for that. And then we also have the Guard Sergeant Major Mikhail Muzarin's IS-2. So again, some more information on this lad here from the 72nd Guards Heavy Tank Regiment. Okay then, let's have a quick look through the assets, and as I say, these are the asset cards. You take these into your possession depending on which force you are, so you not only have ace skills, you also have asset cards and event cards as well on top of that. It's very much like a board game in that sense, I guess. That's the thing that jumps out to me. So let's just quickly jump them over. So we got British ones, so they got mortar barragers, 17-pounder anti-tank gun, Royal Engineers, snipers, infantry, airstrike, tank hunters, 6-pounders, close assault gammon bombs, artillery. The Germans have got the tank hunters. One other thing as well, just to mention, they do have a date on these, so you can only use these if you're playing historically. You can only use them from certain dates. So for example, the tank hunters, no Panzerfaust in 1940, they can only be used from late 43. So tank hunters, snipers, assault engineers, they've got infantry, 88mm anti-tank guns, 75mm anti-tank gun, close assault, Panzernacker, artillery, tank hunters, and airstrike. The way these work is kind of to keep those units off the table. They're kind of abstracted into the game itself, into using these cards. Sorry, just get rid of that Warlord card there. So the Soviets have got their tank hunters, they have infantry, 45mm anti-tank gun, sniper, airstrike, assault engineers, close assault cellar rats, 76mm Ziz 3, the heavy artillery, close assault. So I mean, these are all pretty much basically what you'd expect from the different different nations that are involved in the game itself. Infantry for the Americans, M3 M5 anti-tank gun, combat engineers, close assault, mortar barragers, tank hunters, artillery, airstrike, 57mm anti-tank gun, and then also tank hunters. And again, these just add a little bit more historical flavour and are used in the ambush part of the game itself. And then we have the event deck. So we've got this is just a pretty typical generic event deck. So it's things like reinforcements, haze, mine, time will tell, extra reinforcements, fog of war, bullseye. You know, these are all things that are just going to be relatively generic stuff you can add on to the game as you're playing. Obscene obstacle, more reconnaissance, that was close, static, winds of change, bad timing, improvised armour, unto the breach, interference. I'm not going to go through all these in massive detail, but just to give you a good idea basically of the kind of stuff that you would expect to have. And as I say, these ones are all pretty typical generic actions for any of the tanks that you're playing while you're playing the game. They take away the different nations. They're basically in the assets rather than these events deck itself, and there's quite a lot of them, as you can see. So basically, as you can see, there's a huge amount of choice and different tanks and things in here. I hope you've enjoyed this video. As I say, very quick look through. I just wanted to get some content out for you really about Achtung Panzer, and I think, you know, this is just a quick way of showing you the kind of stuff you're going to be expecting to buy in the game itself. I'm going to be playing a game with some of these cards, and I'm going to be using some of these cards in a game that I play tomorrow that I've got set up. So that will be a video coming out ASAP. I'm not sure when, but it will probably come out as a bonus video rather than one of my usual standard Friday evening ones. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, do hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. Let me know if you're excited for Achtung Panzer. Let me know what you think of it so far, what you've seen of it on the internet, and I will see you in the next Storm of Steel video.